A very warm welcome, children. We are in our last lesson, pollution of air and water. First of all, let us know what is meant by pollution. The degradation of the quality of the environment is called as pollution. As we know, there are five elements of the nature: air, water, fire, earth, crust, and Prithvi, we call it as earth. All these are the five elements of the earth. The five elements of the universe are sky, fire, water, air, and Prithvi. Physical, sometimes the damage of the environment may be drastically, that means never changeable, permanent. So, this is the way how our elements are getting polluted. In our syllabus, we have about air pollution and water pollution. So, what are the main causes of air and water pollution? The main causes of air pollution nowadays is due to increasing population. Also, we have different substances that are just interfering with the components of the air. Also, due to human deeds, we have ozone layer getting is depleted, ozone layer present is depleted, and excess of metals such as lead is interfering in the nature, which is obtained from the combustion of fuels. Sulfur dioxide, which is obtained from many industries, particulate matters, nitrogen dioxide, and carbon monoxide, the very important cause. So, let us learn in detail. Please open your page number 239 in your textbooks, children. As we all know, Paheli and Bojo were very excited to know Taj Mahal in Agra is one of the seven wonders of the world. But they are very disappointed to hear that beauty of this monument is in white marble has been threatened by air pollution. In this area surrounding the Taj Mahal, they were very eager to know something which can be done to control air and water pollution. We all are aware that our environment is not what it used to be. Our elders talk about the clean water and fresh air that was available in their times. Now, the media regularly reports on falling the quality of the environment. We ourselves feel that the impact of falling quality of air and water in our lives. The number of people suffering from diseases of respiratory system, for example, corona. It is also one type of air pollutant which has been polluted by various bioorganisms or microorganisms. We shudder to imagine a time when clean air and water may no longer be available. You have learnt about the importance of air and water in your childhood from third standard. In this chapter, we will discuss about the harmful changes that are taking place in our surroundings and their effects on our lives. Our topic now is air pollution. We can survive for some time without food, but we cannot survive even a few minutes without air. The simple fact tells us how clean air is to us. We also know that air is a mixture of gases. So, in this mixture of gases, we have particular gases which are having their particular percentages fixed: 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and carbon dioxide, argon, methane, ozone, water vapor are also present in very small quantities. If you can see in activity 18.1, you may have wondered your nose while passing in a brick kiln emitting smoke, or started coughing while walking on a busy road. What is the reason for this? Yes, the reason is air pollution due to the combustion of fuels which are containing lead and various metals are dangerous, so that lead us many health problems. A park on a busy road, a residential area and an industrial area, a busy traffic intersection at different times of a day. Example, early morning and afternoon and evening while you're coming to school and going to a village and town. So, what do you notice in all the above situations? Yes, one of your observations is that the smoke would be there, which is obtained as harmful effect for the living and non-living, known as air pollution. So now let us know, how is air getting polluted? Yes, the air is getting polluted due to the contaminants or pollutants. We call them as air pollutants. Sometimes such substances may come from natural sources like smoke and dust arising from forest fires and volcanic eruptions. Pollutants are also added to the atmosphere by certain human activities. The sources of air pollutants are factories, power plants, automobile exhaust, and burning of firewood and dung cakes. So, in 18.2 activity, you may have read in the newspapers and respiratory problems among the children are rising day by day. Conduct a survey of households in your neighborhood among friends to find out how many children are suffering from respiratory problems. Main issue for the respiratory problems is caused only due to air pollution. Let us try to find out the substances of air pollutants that are present while getting polluting the air. Have you ever noticed a number of vehicles increasing in our city? Yes, vehicles produce high levels of pollutants like carbon monoxide, CO, carbon dioxide, CO2, nitrogen oxides, NO2. There are many children, so we are saying nitrogen oxides and smoke. Smoke is nothing but the sooty particles which is obtained by the burning of fuel. Carbon monoxide produced from incomplete burning of fuels such as petrol and diesel is a poisonous gas. It reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Do you know that if the vehicles registered in Delhi lined up one after the other, the total length would be equal to the combined length of two longest rivers in the world, like Nile and Amazon? So, this says that how the environment is getting polluted through the human deeds. Now, see, in winters, you can see a fog like layer in the atmosphere, especially during winters, is formed along with this pollution. This we call it as smog. Smog is made up of smoke plus fog. Smoke is obtained from the vehicles, and fog is obtained due to the seasonal changes. Smoke may contain several oxides of nitrogen which combine with other air pollutants and fog to form smoke. Smog causes breathing difficulties such as asthma, cough, wheezing in children. So you can see this wheezing or sneezing is also another important effect of air pollution. Many industries are also responsible for causing air pollution. Petroleum refineries are the major source of gases pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. This sulfur dioxide is produced by the combustion of fuels like coal in the power plants. It can cause respiratory problems including permanent lung damage. You have already studied in chapter 5 about the different types of fuels. On the other hand, there are also another pollutants increasing nowadays but not before 20 years like chlorofluorocarbons. We all know that we are well established families and well established societies with refrigerators and air conditioners. Yes, these are the main cause for the outlet of chlorofluorocarbons which are used as refrigerant in refrigerators and air conditioners and aerosol sprays. Like how we just spray our aerosols, like we just give the scents and all in the room fresheners. Chlorofluorocarbons damage the ozone layer of the atmosphere. Recall that the ozone layer protects us from harmful violet rays of the sun. Have you ever heard what is meant by an ozone hole? Yes, we have an ozone layer which is depleted due to the human deeds, mainly due to excess of carbon monoxide. Thankfully, less harmful effects are now being used in place of chlorofluorocarbons. Do you know what would happen if the ozone layer completely depletes? Yes. What happens is the sun rays directly fall onto the earth, which comes burst of skin diseases. Even blisters and blisters are formed on the body when you go in contact with the sunlight. In addition to the above mentioned gases, automobiles which burn fuel and petrol also produce tiny particles, sooty particles, which remain suspended in air for a long time. We call it as particulate suspended matter. They reduce the visibility. When inhaled, they cause diseases. Such particles also are produced during industrial processing like steel making and mining. What is meant by mining, children? They are going to collect different metals from the soil. Power plants which give out tiny ash which also pollute the atmosphere. Look at page number 241, you have activity 18.3. Just prepare a table of air pollutants, how they are obtained and effects. Like you can have an interesting one. You can do it in your notebook. Next we have the case study. What do you mean by case study? We are going to select one example which is completely degraded by the Taj Mahal. I mean the air pollution. Have you ever seen Taj Mahal? It is the seventh wonder and one of the famous tourist attraction in Agra. Experts warned that the matter of concern warned that pollutants in air are responsible for the decoloring of white marble. Not only that, the industries located in and around Agra, like rubber processing, automobiles, chemicals, are very important has been playing the important role for degradation of Taj Mahal beauty. Also, it has been producing different pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide react with the water present in the atmosphere to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid, which we call it as acid rains. Acid rains corrodes the marble of the monument and the phenomena is called marble cancer. Suspended particulate matter such as soot particles emitted by oil refineries, Mathura oil refineries in Delhi in Agra has contributed towards the yellowing of marble. The Supreme Court has been taken several steps in order to switch the cleaner fuels like CNG and LPG instead of using diesel and petrol. Nowadays, most of us are using this LPG and CNG instead of petrol and diesel. Discuss with your elders, see how you can save the condition of 20 to 30 years ago for the Taj Mahal. Now, I am reminded of the chapter on crops on wonder acid rain affects also the soil, plants and animals. Now our next topic is greenhouse effect. Have you ever heard what is meant by greenhouse effect? Yes, you can see the sun's rays warm the earth's surface. A part of the radiation falls onto the earth and is absorbed by the contents of the earth, and a part of it is reflected back into the space. A part of it is reflected radiation is trapped by the atmosphere. The trapped radiations further warm the earth. If you have seen the greenhouse in a nursery or elsewhere, recall the sun's heat is allowed to get it but not allowed to go out. The trapped heat warms the greenhouse. The trapping of radiations by Earth's atmosphere is similar. This is called greenhouse effect. Without this process, life would not have been possible on the Earth, but now it threatens the life. Excess of carbon dioxide in the air is one of the gases responsible for this effect. You know that carbon dioxide is one of the components of air? Yes, but if it becomes excess, what happens? It causes global warming. Greenhouse effect also leads to global warming. Carbon dioxide is continuously released in the air due to human activities. Area under the forests are decreasing due to increasing of pollution. Plants utilize carbon dioxide from atmosphere for photosynthesis, thereby decreasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the air and increasing oxygen levels given to the human beings by plants should be increased. But deforestation leads to increase in amount of carbon dioxide where the number of trees are decreased. Because the number of trees which consume carbon dioxide is reduced, we are able to get the temperatures heated up nowadays when you compare it to last few decades. When we are small, when you are 30 years back, the normal room temperature was some 16 to 18 and 18 to 20, but nowadays it has become 30. What do you observe this? Due to increased human needs, the rainfall, all are getting affected, especially the room temperatures, especially due to increase in carbon dioxide level. For every year, a rise in temperature also is observed. In order to control that, it's a basic need or essential thing for every child to start growing plants and trees at home. So as your human needs are increasing, if you increase the plants will start absorbing carbon dioxide and start releasing oxygen gas, which are very important and decreases global warming. So a global warming is considered as a serious threat. Global warming can What happens due to global warming? If you observe the globes, we have on the top north pole and south pole, arctic circle and antarctic circle. They are called as the polar ice caps. These start melting with the temperature, with increase in temperature of the earth. Global warming can cause due to sea levels. What happens if the ice melts? Gradually sea level increases. Already we are having 3/4 water and 1/4 land. If the water level increases still completely, it vanishes the livelihood on the earth. So global warming can cause sea levels to rise dramatically. In many places, coastal areas have been flooded. Global warming could result in the ranging effects of rainfall patterns, agriculture, forest, plants, and animals. Majority of the people living in the regions which are threatened by global warming are in Asia. A recent climatic change report has given us a limited time to keep the greenhouse gases effect at the present level. Otherwise, the temperature may rise by 2 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, and a level considered to be very, very dangerous. So there are other gases like methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, which are called as the gases which are contributing for this effect. Also, carbon dioxide is known as the greenhouse affecting gases. Global warming has become a major concern for governments worldwide. Many countries have reached an agreement to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. The Kyoto Protocol is one such agreement. Bojo is surprised to hear an increase in the Earth's atmosphere temperature, even little as 0.5 degrees, have such a serious effect. So, what we have to do? We have nearby Gangotri Glacier and Himalayas has started melting. This is the main reason for the effect of global warming. We are going to face it. What can be done to reduce air pollution now? Yes, you can use public transport, start planting the trees, also reduce the intake of petrol and diesel. Let us save for our future generations. Please use the cleaner fuels such as CNG and LPG. Say no to crackers. Also, reduce the indoor pollution by decreasing the use of aerosols. Also, say no to crackers during the festivals of Diwali. Always try to obey the government GOs, which are very helpful. Also, let us decrease extending of cities into the forests. So this is how we can make a small things, like you can communicate with your school and you can go by walking or travel by bicycle or pooling the cars using the public transport nowadays has been the small things which we can reduce the pollution. Children, it's a basic need to protect ourselves from global warming. So what you all should do, you take one plant, you just for every birthday you start planting one tree. For every birthday, when you make it as a note, surely when you grow up, you and your children will be benefited. Next, we have water pollution. What is meant by water pollution? Water, if it decreases its quality in many ways, like color, smell, taste. If it is not fit for drinking, we simply say the water gets polluted. How is the water getting polluted nowadays? There are many pollutants which are responsible for water pollution. Water is getting polluted from many things, many ways, such as domestic waste, agricultural waste, excess use of fertilizers and pesticides, oil pollution, oil spill, septic tanks, animal dungs, pesticides, industrial waste, household waste, wastewater. All this should be recycled. We have to follow recycle, reduce, reuse. We all know about the famous river Ganga. Ganga river also is getting polluted in many ways. As it is a holy river, you can see there are many deeds which cannot be explained. An ambitious plan to save the river Ganga plan, it is called as Ganga Action Plan, was launched in 1985. To reduce the pollution levels of the river, the increasing population and industrialization have already damaged the mighty river which beyond repair. The government of India has launched a new initiative known as National Mission for the Clean Ganga (NMCG) in 2016. So let us take an example in Kanpur. At Kanpur in UP, has one of the most polluted stretches of this river. Kanpur is one of the most populated towns in UP. People can be seen bathing, washing clothes, defecating the rivers, and throwing the garbage, flowers, idols of gods and goddesses, and non biodegradable polythene bags into the river. Here you can see more than 5,000 industries has been present all throughout the Kanpur, which are including fertilizers, detergents, leather and paint industries. These are very harmful and toxic. Also, many industries discharge harmful chemicals into the rivers and streams, causing the pollution of water. Examples of these industries are oil refineries, paper factories, textile and sugar mills. All must be reduced. So what we are going to do to this? When we decrease the usage. Also, due to the excess dumping, there is no proper intake, there is no proper dissolved oxygen level in the water. Many of the water animals are dying, the quality of the water is decreasing. At the same time, we are getting caused to many diseases. We are just getting those contaminated water with sewage, which is filled with bacteria, virus, fungi, parasites, also are causing cholera, typhoid, and jaundice. The bacteria present in the fecuses of mammals are the indicators of the quality of the water. If the water has been carrying bacteria, it has been contaminated by fecal matter. In such cases, it causes many infections. So now what we have to do? We have to make the water having a good quality. We have to take the water which is collected from such things and just you have to disinfect it with a bleaching powder, and filtration technique should be followed. So if the water is allowed to clean and it is allowed to make us for a proper drinking quality of the water, we call it as potable water. What is meant by potable water? The water which are tasteful for drinking and aesthetically pure are known as potable water. Look 18.7 activity. Let us construct a water filter with simple everyday materials. Take a plastic bottle, cut it into two halves at the center. Use the upper half as a funnel by putting upside down in the lower half. Make it layers in with paper, napkin or fine cloth followed by cotton, sand and then gravel. Now pour dirty water through the filtered. Observe filtered water. Why do you need this filtered water before drinking? Where do you get this water? Drinking water? Yes, you can get all are getting cleaned up by this method of filter. Water which is suitable for drinking, we call it as potable water. 25% of the world population is without safe drinking water. Let us see how water can be made safe for drinking. You have already seen how water is filtered. This is a physical method of removing impurities. A popular household filter is a candle type filter in the olden days before we used to follow. Many households use boiling it as the other method for obtaining safe drinking water. Boiling kills the germs present in the water. Chlorination or using bleaching powder is a common method used for purifying the water. We must be cautious that we should not use more chlorine tablets than specified. You can say 18.9 activity. What can be done? What can we do? Yes, we have to follow government organizations and we have to dispose the waste properly from the domestic usage, and you have to use it as a natural fertilizers which does not affect the environmental values. Also, different laws are used, or water treatment plants should be installed in the industrial area without getting contaminated. Also, the industrial effluents must be treated before letting into the rivers. Especially in the thermal power stations, lots of ash is dumped into the water, through which all the people who consume that water are going to be affected by getting many types of cancers nowadays. So, being as an individual, it's our conscious duty to follow 4 R's method: reduce, refuse, reuse and recycle. Say no to plastic bags. That means you have to reduce, you have to reduce the polluting of our own water resources. You have to reuse the water which you use at the kitchen, which is just let into the gardens. You have to recycle the water because nowadays we are getting scarce of water. So being an individual, let us take this challenge as 4 hours. Refuse, reuse, recycle and reduce. Thank you children. With this our syllabus is completed. Please write the notes and listen to the videos, read the textbook. Thank you one and all.